in with Storm Team meteorologist Alex Puckett. And Alex, you got a lot to tell us about when it comes to Francine.
Yeah, this is the big weather story for us at this point. Hurricane Francine, as of the latest update, and they've got hurricane hunters flying through this thing today. Pressure has dropped maybe a millibar or so over the past several hours. Those winds still staying steady at about 90 miles an hour at the center of this thing. So it hasn't lost intensity. It hasn't gained much intensity either, though. It is battling a little bit of shear, pulling in a little dry air near the center. But note those pinks there. Still some really tall thunderstorms near the center of this hurricane. So I think at a bare minimum, it's going to maintain its intensity for the rest of this afternoon, this evening, as it makes its way closer to Louisiana. The center now a little bit south of Lafayette, Louisiana, and that's going to be making its way towards Louisiana as a Category 1 or 2 hurricane making landfall sometime this evening. Whether or not it makes it to Category 2 status really doesn't matter in this case. We're talking about 5 or 10 miles an hour here. The important thing is going to be the impacts on Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama from this storm, and we will see some impacts here in the state of Alabama. We have the future cast, and again, landfall occurring this evening. It'll be west of New Orleans, but certainly New Orleans feeling hurricane force conditions with this storm this evening. And then we start to get some of the outer bands of this system tomorrow, and those will give central Alabama their biggest impacts. The biggest impacts in Louisiana certainly going to be from the center of Francine. And we've got storm surge in parts of Louisiana that could exceed 9 feet in some spots. But in Alabama, storm surge is forecast for the Gulf Coast, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Mobile Bay, Bayou La Batterie, 2, 3, maybe 4 foot storm surge in some spots there. So some coastal impacts in Alabama. But for central Alabama, what may end up being one of the bigger impacts is heavy rain, 2 to 4 inches likely across central Alabama with this system, and maybe some isolated higher totals than that. So a lot of rain on the way with Francine and the remnants of Francine. Tornadoes also a possibility. The threat a little higher along the Gulf Coast, but we'll have the ingredients for them here in central Alabama too, especially as we start to see some of these outer bands and cells associated with it pushing through the state tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. These could start to rotate and are going to be capable of producing at least a few spin-up tornadoes. So that's something we'll be watching out for very closely. While the highest destructive wind potential is back towards Louisiana and Mississippi, I do still expect some pretty significant wind gusts here starting this evening and continuing through the day tomorrow, with some gusts exceeding 40 miles an hour, and that could lead to some sporadic power outages. Now, behind this system, showers and even a few thunderstorms remain for Friday and the weekend, the start of next week, before we start to calm things down a bit by the middle of next week. But Thursday, the day that we want you to be weather aware, have that CBS 42 app downloaded on your phone. It'll give you that tap on the shoulder to let you know if something dangerous is headed your way. Kristen.
All right.